You remember that one guy? You know, the guy with the thing? You know, the guy with the hair. He's wearing that shirt with the pants. You know, what's his name? On this episode of Attack of the Killer Podcast.
Attention planet Earth and beyond. Stay tuned for Attack of the Killer Podcast. 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 Yay!
What?
Hello, and welcome to Attack of the Killer Podcast. This is episode 337, and that we are calling... What's his name? Now, what the hell does that mean? All the movies we're going to be talking about are movies where the title is a person's name. Get it? Don't worry, it'll make sense eventually.
Like most of our episodes, yep.
If this is your first time listening to the show, Attack of the Killer Podcast is a horror movie podcast where a group of friends we get together with a topic and discuss films within that topic. We're just friends hanging out, talking about horror movies, you know, like you do. So there may be spoilers. Now, if you like our show, you should try our Patreon. Attack of the Killer Podcast Patreon is less calories than any other podcast Patreon. And when you join us, you become part of the Killer Podcast family that we call being an attacker. As an attacker, you get all kinds of perks and extra content, such as your own membership card, certificate, and sticker. You can get our YouTube shows and even our bonus podcast episodes. Like our next one, we're going to be talking about our favorite water-based horror films that are not Jaws. You also get invited to our exclusive chat called Attack of the Killer Chat. You can pick movies for our watch parties and Patreon picks episodes. You can also get shout-outs on the show like these amazing attackers right here.
Timothy Leonard, Roman Doppelfeld, Larry Watanabe, Brett J. Royer, Jessica Irish, Chris Cook, Brian Godsell, Stefan Sitter, Brandy Moore, Andrew Mahler, Rodney Dean Hutchinson Jr., Carmen DeHague, Abraham Ariano, Andrew Bentler, Casey Kelderman, Tony Miller, Mike Clayton, Rose Talashoma, Abe Kirshner, Lisa Cavalier, Holly Berg, Bill Fisher, Greg Dedrick, Sam Lenz, Garth Jacobson, Brett White, Tiffany DeWeese, Scott Reebsman, Chris Collins, and Jacob McLaughlin.
You too can be on that list. All you got to do is go to jointheattackers.com, pick the tier to get the rewards you want. Again, that site is jointheattackers.com. And now it's time to introduce you to the podcast crew. On a date, he carved their initials into a tree. Most people find it romantic. All I can think about is why did he bring a knife on a date? Jason!
Hey, you gotta be prepared. As a Boy Scout, I learned that. Not apologizing. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being here.
He took his pet newt into a bar with him. The bartender asks what his name was. He said his name is Tiny. The bartender asked, why Tiny? He replied, because he's my newt, Tad.
Hey, sorry you have to listen to this.
I'm not. He was talking with a guy in a chat room who claimed he was Stephen King's son. He thought the guy was joking. Turns out he was. Brian.
Hi.
How we all doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. And you know why?
Why?
Because I watched some really cool stuff. You want to know what it was?
What?
Well, let's find out. Here's Tad with what we watched.
Hey, Mike, what'd you watch?
I'm just kidding. I didn't watch anything. No, I did watch Drop, finally, the new Christopher
Yay.
Landon film. It was great. I loved it. And it wasn't two genre mashings of 80s films. It was weird, and I still enjoyed it. What's going on? No, I thought it was a pretty cool mystery, pretty on your edge of your seat kind of thing going on. I kind of felt like the flashback to the fight between her and her husband was kind of worthless information. It didn't really seem to pay off much other than just kind of in that moment when she's talking about what kind of mother she thinks she is and how she hesitated. But other than that, it just felt like it was so much for so little payoff. But the overall payoff was great of the whole film. So really enjoyed that. I have come to terms that I am officially old because I had no idea what airdrop was. And I'm really, really, really old because I don't know why anybody would want that. And leave it to Apple to come up with another bad idea.
We use it at work all the time.
What?
Everybody uses it all the time.
I would not want that at all. I'm so glad I don't have an Apple phone. Forget it. Just random crap from people. I was like, if I don't want to talk to you in person, why would I want random crap?
You can
on
have
my
it
phone
set
from
so you have to like accept, and there's settings to make it so it's not like that. But
you? Oh, okay.
you'd have to have like one of your kids come over and set it up.
Yeah.
All right. I also watched, just for kicks, I don't know why, 1979 British sex sci-fi comedy that is none of the above, called Spaced Out. It's also under the title of Outer Touch. It's directed by Norman J. Warren, who did Bloody New Year, and Seminoid, Saint and
Hell yeah.
Slaves. So he can do good films, and this wasn't like bad or anything. It just wasn't funny. It wasn't like, very sex exploitive or anything. And yeah,
So it was
Like that, you're like,
Queen
he can
Kong
do
from
good films.
A few episodes back, it was
dude,
a
that's
sex comedy that was neither sexy nor funny.
yeah, it's exactly my thought when I was watching it too. I get like halfway through this movie and it's like, is this the same director as Queen Kong? And it wasn't. It was like the first thing I went to look because it just reminded me so much of just how blah Queen Kong is. So the last thing I watched is started Peacemaker Season 2. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So no spoilers. I'll just say that it's fun and hilarious and continues in the perfect tone from Season 1. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you find the opening dance number to be a little less enjoyable than the first season, though?
Yeah, but I'm chalking it up as maybe like my
Just I expected too much.
Yeah, I was expecting too much. I mean, it felt a little kind of almost repetitive just with more people, but it's still cool, and it's still going to be just like Season 1 where I'm going to have to watch it every time a new episode comes out. I'm never going to skip the intro. And, and much like the Season 1 intro, I feel like I'm going to pick up on more stuff as I watch it every episode. But yeah, no, I know where you're coming from on that too. Didn't feel as
The song
awesome.
is a little lower energy, too. Like, it just
Yeah,
seems like they could have picked something a little quicker tempo, but
yeah, for sure. Anyway, that's what I watched.
All right, Jason, what have you watched?
I watched quite a few things. Literally after last episode's recording, I ran home, and Tiff and I watched Sweet Revenge, 16 minutes of fun Jason fan film.
Oh,
Friday 13th fan film.
It's not fan film. It's
I mean-
official.
Right. Official fan film. That's right. It was good. It was good. Definitely worth watching. It's on YouTube for free. Then instantly watched, after that, Danny Boyle's new movie, 28 Years Later.
Sweet.
And loved it.
28 inches later, am I right?
Oh, man, right? So jelly. Okay, I'm going to move on from that. It was fantastic. I can't wait to watch more. Then we watched, was this A24? I can't remember. This adorable, I think it was, this adorable, amazing movie called The Legend of Ochi.
Yep, A24.
It was so freaking good. I loved it. Willem Dafoe's in it, speaking of inches, and Finn Wolfhard. But it's like, so the creatures in it are awesome, but they're like stop motion-y, it feels like. I can't verify that, but they're practical, but then they're stop motiony. It's a beautiful little fairy tale of a movie. I liked it a lot.
I think it's based on some kind of book or something. I know Rod got to see it like a month early because he's part of that like preview AMC preview thing, and he saw it. Like, you don't know what you're getting. It's a mystery, but he goes to all of them, and he saw that one, and he actually enjoyed it too. So
Awesome.
So when you say it's kind of stop motion-y, is they're like real practical effects, but maybe they just took frames out when they shot it?
No, because I mean, this creature is happening in the same room as this girl acting or whatever, but it's just the way it moves.
Yeah.
It feels like like Wes Anderson, the Fox movie. Just a
Yeah,
little bit,
Fantastic
a little
Mr.
bit, not like. It's really cool.
Okay.
It's really cool. And the darn thing's so dang cute. Anyway, it's a really good little fairy tale. I was excited to watch this because I'm a big Rami Malek fan. I wished it was horror so it'd count for this year, but it's not. The Amateur.
I saw that on your letterbox. I'm curious because that trailer drove me fucking crazy.
Did it? I'm trying to remember.
Well, it played before every
It did.
movie I saw for like a month, and I just cannot take him, like, not to go on a rant before, but I just can't take him as like a scary badass, and I think that's the point of the movie, is that he's not.
He's not at all, yeah. It's just like, what if a really bad thing happened to a super smart nerd who's literally a nerd? He's, even as an adult, gets bullied around by his coworkers to do their homework kind of thing. But he's so smart, and he works for the CIA in the basement levels. He's that smart,
Yeah. That's I don't know, man. How was it?
It was awesome. I mean, it's not awesome because a horrible thing happened. I guess you find out, his wife dies instantly.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you were just like,
there was
because you're Jason. It's something bad happens to someone, and you're like, well, I don't like this.
Yes. I'm just trying to decide how much of making fun of me you're doing right now.
I'm just saying, like,
there's no.
I know
there's no happy ending.
You're
just
very,
root for him to get his revenge.
Yeah, you're empathetic, and that's not something to make fun of. I just know, like, you are more sensitive to it than some of us. So I know, like, when a movie starts like that, you're probably like immediately invested because, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Lawrence Fishburne's in it. He does some cool stuff. It's just nice seeing him doing a nice actiony film. And then lastly, this is on your list too. We went and saw Wolf Moon Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Sheets' new movie.
Where's the cricket noise?
Yeah, it was fun.
You mean we saw Mike Reeb on the big screen?
We saw Mike Reeb on the big screen.
And in person.
It was so good to see him, and it was nice to finally meet Todd. He was really great in person, not necessarily what I expected. But
yeah,
not from things I've heard and seen to how he looks as a human. But then once you start talking to him, you're like, oh, wow, you're really way cooler than I might have thought you were going to be.
Big old sweetheart. I have not heard anything about the guy. This was like, I didn't even know it was one of his movies. Reed messaged me and said, hey,
yep,
I worked on this movie and it's going to play in Iowa City. And I'm like, cool, I'll be there. And so I'm curious, like, does he have, I mean, he talked about how, he's been making indie horror since like 88 or something. But he was super nice and, clearly very appreciative of us showing up and everyone showing up. And
yeah, I had made the mistake. I just assumed that Reeb wrote it since he's been writing movies and getting them made and
He's
stuff.
written some stuff for Todd before. So.
Yeah, so in my head I got confused. I mean, I was still just happy to see the Reebster in person. That's what I watched.
Yeah, he was, and again, Reeb gets killed by a werewolf at the beginning of the movie, so that's fucking cool.
Is he wearing a Hawaiian shirt?
You know it.
No, not in the movie,
no.
but in real life, yeah. We parked in the parking garage, like a good, and we walked like 3 blocks, and there in the middle of downtown Iowa City, I see a Hawaiian shirt walking down the sidewalk, and I'm like, spotted Reeb immediately. And Nikki's like, how do you know? He's like 2 blocks away. I'm like, Trust me. And I was like, texted him because we were on our way to eat dinner, and I'm like, hey man, we just got into town. I saw you, and he's like, yeah, I'm at the arcade that's attached to the movie theater. I'm like, I should have known that too. Like,
Yeah.
so perfect read. What have you watched, Brian?
I've been keeping up with Alien Earth. Has anyone else been watching this one?
I need to get back
Not yet.
to it. I've only seen the first
Man,
episode.
if it keeps going the way it's going, it's gonna wash the taste of Covenant right out of my mouth. This is the best Alien thing since Alien 3. It's so good. It's going in some really interesting directions. Like, I can honestly say, when I sit down to watch an episode, I don't necessarily know everything. A lot of times this kind of stuff you can sort of, okay, it's going to go here and here and here. That's the formula. But yeah, they're pulling out some tricks that I wouldn't have guessed. And the way that last episode ended, I'm very excited to see where that goes and what Noah Hawley's developing as far as the main character and her relationship with the aliens.
Yeah, I might just let it sort of like stew for a bit so I can like binge them.
Yeah. But I'm trying to keep up with it as it goes so nothing gets spoiled. Because like I said, it's an inventive enough show that it's bringing out some surprises that, I wouldn't have wanted to find that out secondhand. So I try to watch them as they, right on the night they come out. But
Right on.
yeah. As for movie-wise, a bunch of stuff as usual. I'll just hit the highlights. I rewatched Postal for the first time since it came out in 2007, and it held up. It's pretty much as tastelessly funny as I remember it being. Have any of you guys seen this one?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't? Not a fan, huh? I mean, it's not good. I'll say that.
That's the one where Dave Foley gets raped by monkeys, right?
No, Vern Troyer. Dave Foley hangs dong in it, though.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Vern Troyer gets locked in a room with the monkeys, okay.
Yeah, because part of the prophecy of the apocalypse is that a tiny entertainer will be raped by 1,000 monkeys.
Does it start with a 9/11?
It starts with a 9/11. The whole thing is a 9/11 joke. It starts with the plane hitting the towers.
I'm just trying to sell it to our listeners.
The final shot is George W. Bush, who played by probably the best George W. impersonator I've ever seen. And then the final shot is George W. Bush and Osama bin Laden, arm in arm, skipping through a field of wildflowers as mushroom clouds erupt on the horizon.
Good old U-Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched 2 Undercover Angels. It very quick, like I wasn't even halfway through and I was like, yeah, this is one of my favorite Jess Franco movies now. It's like Danger Diabolic, but with 75% less money and 2 ladies instead of John Philip Law. It's really fun. It's very silly. There are some genuinely funny gags in it. The dub cast sound like they're having the time of their lives. Mike, you would definitely like this movie. You got to check this one out.
I mean, yeah, you sold me comparing it to Danger Diabolique.
Yeah, but if it was a comedy.
I mean, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Danger Diabolic has funny moments, but it is not like this is an out and out spoof.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not the kind of thing you typically think of when you think of Jess Franco. But I mean, the dude made like 300 movies, so there's something for everyone in there.
There had to be some other genres in there, yeah.
Yeah. I had watched this many years ago when I bought the Blu-ray, which is sadly out of print because the label Garage House Pictures has been defunct for a few years now. But I just got the itch to rewatch it because I didn't remember much about it. Foes. Mike, are you familiar with this one?
No,
Guessing you'd probably be the only one who was.
It's pronounced pho.
I'm going to kill you. It's an ultra low budget UFO movie from 1977. Like fairly obviously like trying to cash in on Close Encounters. But it's, the aliens aren't friendly. And it was made for, I don't know, probably 5 figures. I would be shocked if the budget even was anywhere near $100,000. The effects make Doctor Who look well funded and state of the art, but they're extremely effective, and there are some truly spooky sequences in this, and it even gets a little like cosmic horror at the end, because the alien, like in Close Encounters, the aliens are just these weird shimmers of light, but it was all done just by having like machined pieces of metal that they would, spin in front of a lamp to get these weird reflections, and then impose that light shimmer over the what was going on the screen. And there are a few slightly more advanced optical effects right at the very end, but it's just, I think it's the cheapness of it that, because it's so simple, so little could go wrong. So you're looking at it and like, okay, I understand that this effect is just this, but because it's so simple, it works so much better than if they'd tried to do something more ambitious and it would have just looked corny, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Really, really good.
Where did you see this one?
It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I have
Sweet.
the Blu-ray from Garage House Pictures, but like I said, the label doesn't even exist anymore, so the disc is well out of print. But yeah, you can watch the movie on YouTube, and it's well worth checking out.
Is that
F-O-E-S? Yeah.
P-H-O.
If I could reach through this microphone, boy. All right, now we're going to get to the stuff that you all expect. I watched Lost Souls, which is a 1980 Shaw Brothers movie about human trafficking of illegal immigrants. And it is one of the most soul-cripplingly depressing movies I have ever seen, especially with what is going on here right now. It's, boy, it hits home, and it's extremely unpleasant, but it's very, very good. It's kind of hard to find, so, if you can track it down, it's well worth a watch. But speaking of things that are, they're not that hard to find, because I found a treasure trove of Hong Kong sleaze on Dailymotion. Continuing with the series, I watched Raped by an Angel 2, The Uniform Fan. It's not nearly as tasteless as the first one, but it's still pretty gross.
This one's classy, huh?
It was made a year after the handover, so it was made in 98, and Hong Kong changed hands from England back to China in 1997, and that handover is typically viewed as the cutoff point where Category 3 movies kind of went downhill. They just, because the Chinese censorship rules are a little more strict. I mean, there's still gross stuff in it, but you can kind of tell. You can really feel that they're pulling punches. And there's still some things that snuck through after the handover. Herman Yao, who did Untold Story and Ebola Syndrome and a lot of really great Category 3 movies, did one in, I think, 2001, which is really recent for something like this, called Gong Tao, an Oriental Black Magic, that is almost as gross as something you would have seen in like the late 80s. But anyway, I digress. Moving on to new movies. Got out to the theater a few times. I caught the new Fantastic Four.
Hey.
Finally, they made a good Fantastic Four movie.
Finally
that wasn't the Roger Corman one. Boy, they Jack Kirby'd the hell out of this thing. Like, just the aesthetic of it was chef's kiss. So good.
Awesome.
Probably the best Marvel movie since, I don't know, Thunderbolts. This and Thunderbolts, I don't know, maybe are about this. They're very different movies, so it's kind of hard to compare them. But, I mean, there hasn't been a movie that felt this just, like, right in, the best of what Marvel was doing since Endgame. We caught Weapons. Holy shit. If not for Sinners, that would be my number one movie of the year.
I'm glad you liked
and
it.
That's all I'll say, because obviously it's pays to go in cold, and I don't want to spoil anything, but go see it. And then we caught a couple more newer movies on streaming. Borderline. It's a fun bit of fluff with some really entertaining performances from Samara Weaving and Ray Nicholson. I don't think it's going to make my list, but it's well worth checking out. Just to, if you're looking for something that's a breezy good time that involves people being burned to death.
So I think that one's on Peacock, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we rented Bring Her Back.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, inevitably, because of my completely twisted metric for these things. It's not as bleak as it was advertised, but and I wish it would have had a little bit more detail with the cult aspect. And again, I don't want to get too much into what that means because people haven't seen it. It's fairly new, and I don't want to spoil anything. But still a damn good movie. Still going to make the list. Really, really good. Tad, what have you been watching?
All kinds of stuff. So, Joe Bigo's new movie, Jimmy and Stiggs.
Ooh, yeah, I'm excited for that one.
We played that at the Capitol. Someone said, we've seen all the crazy quotes in the trailers and stuff. I thought I saw someone say it was Epilepsy the movie, which is pretty good description. Or I said, Screaming the movie because he just yells the entire movie. But I think the story behind it adds to it, like that he started shooting this by himself during COVID in his apartment, and then he absolutely just destroys his entire apartment filming this thing, and still lives there to this day, with next to no budget. Really fun, fantastic, neon. I think Mike will really like it because it's one location, all in his apartment.
Sweet.
Aliens come and attack him while he's like. And so his solution, he plays pretty much himself, I imagine. This is what Joe Bigos is. He just keeps drinking and smoking and doing pills and going after these aliens. So the whole time you're like, are they really there, or is he just super high? But it's so much fun. And if you don't like Joe Bigos movies, you probably will not enjoy it. So I think it has to beat the record for like any movie for the most amount of fucks, because I'm pretty sure like that's like the script is like, fuck, but lots of fun. Then on the other end of the spectrum, we went and saw the new Naked Gun, which I think, Brian, did you see it?
We were going to, and then it left the theater. We were going to go check it out tomorrow, actually. Yeah, we missed it.
Mike, has anyone seen it?
No.
I have not.
I think everybody will really like it. It was getting good reviews, and I didn't plan on seeing it in theaters because shame on me. I'm like, it's a comedy. It doesn't need to be seen on the big screen. But Nikki's cousin was in town, and we were like, it was a Sunday, and there was not a lot going on in town. So we're like, this can appeal to anybody. Went and saw it, and like my face hurt. I was laughing so hard. I won't spoil any of the really good stuff, but do stick through the credits and read them carefully because there's like so many great little Easter eggs within the credits.
Awesome.
And my favorite running gag is, I won't say it. You'll just gotta see it. But that was so much fun and a great homage to the originals, and it does connect, so it's like a sequel, not necessarily a reboot. Really fun. Just great to see a comedy and back on the big screen, successful.
Yes.
Awesome. Then I watched Hell House LLC Lineage at the Capitol as well, which I think is the fourth or fifth one.
Fifth, I believe.
Yeah, fifth.
And I've seen all of them leading up, and I talked to the Screams from the Basement guys, and they had the director on their show, and they sort of Sam sort of gave me a heads up, like, you got to know your lineage to watch this movie, because he's like, we watched them all and we were still a little confused by it and hard to follow. It's definitely like really, really deep in the lineage, and I admit, like, I was not. I've seen all the movies, but I saw them as they came out. I didn't see them all. Like, I didn't sit down and watch them all leading up to this, which I feel like even if you did, you might still be lost. But Blake watched the last one, like the newest one before this, the night before, and said he was following. It's so weird because they abandoned the whole found footage. This is like fully shot, fully acted narrative, which is a big swing, I think. And I thought for sure it wasn't going to pay off. I do think it's good. I think it's actually surprisingly shot well, acted well. But I've seen people call it a slow burn. I wouldn't call that. It just feels like the same thing with like the Terrifier movies, where like someone has complete creative control. They're going to take it, and they don't know how to cut some of their own film out. They fall in love with everything, and they need someone to come in and edit it down and whittle it down. And it feels a little bit too into itself. Like, these movies started as like, low budget found footage jump scares, and I was happy with that. And now we're like 5 movies deep with the story, and you're supposed to remember all these characters, and it's making a connection here. And oh my gosh, can you believe this? And it's like, I don't even know who this is. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, it trusts the audience, knows everything so deeply and is so connected to it that it's like it's just, I don't know. It does have a rabid hardcore fan base, but then like one of the producers, he's online like saying, don't listen to the critics, don't listen to the fans, go and unless you have, if you have a bad review, don't leave it on Rotten Tomatoes, go leave good reviews and bomb them with good reviews. And he's just sort of gross, but I don't know, watch it if you want. I watched he'll probably like listen to this and come after me, but I watched Wolf Moon Rising 2. That was fun, being around friends, watching a fun movie. I love film scene. Even the worst movie is fun up there, and I'm not saying it's the worst movie at all, but it certainly adds to the experience of being surrounded by people who are there knowing what they're going to watch and enjoying it. And then the last thing is not really even a movie, but we've started, due to the great reviews I was reading online, Dexter Resurrections, which is the third time they've rebooted Dexter. Not the prequel that just finished, but the third, or I guess second sequel, third series of Dexter. They did Dexter, then Dexter New Blood, where they're like, never mind that ending, let's try again. And then it ended, and now he's full on. And they address it, which is really great. I'm like, this is full on, like, Friday the 13th, the last chapter, and then the final chapter, and then they're like, guess what? He's back. And he, like, Dexter's full on. Like, he's not a zombie, but he might as well be. But he does make a joke, like a one-liner in the first episode of, like, I feel like one of the mask killers that wears the hockey mask. But surprisingly good. Like, we watched the first episode, and then we're like, looking at the clock, it's like, we have time for one more, and then one more, and then we're like, one of those shows. And it's been a long time since I did that, so
we're not caught up, but we've watched the first few, and it is pretty good.
Yeah, we're like 5 in, and the cast it's crazy. For how many seasons did the first Dexter have? Like 7, and then they did a season.
7.
Then they did New Blood. Now they're doing Resurrections, and for a show that's on its third iteration, they got Uma Thurman. They got David Dalmatian. I don't know.
Dalmatian.
There we go. Thank you. They have Neil Patrick Harris. They have the dude from Modern Family. They have just all kinds of celebrities in this thing. But they still cannot find someone to fucking give some decent haircuts. Jesus Christ. Between Harrison and Dexter, it's like, guys, go to a fucking barber. Do you own a mirror? Like, that's the biggest thing. He should kill his barber. But anyways, Dexter Resurrections, fantastic. If I wasn't recording right now, I'd probably be watching another episode. So that's what I watched.
All right. So, yes, thank you for that, Tad. And now it's time to get into our movies. Now, these are movies that we've picked that are a person's name. What?
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
What's the guy?
What's his name?
The guy.
Tad, what's our first film?
Our first film is Mikey.
What?
You're going to have to be very patient with him in the beginning.
Get him placed with adoptive parents as quickly as you can.
They took him away from his real parents. He was abused or something. I don't know.
Who are you?
I'm Mikey Trenton.
Trentons don't have a kid.
Now they do. You don't love me anymore.
That's not a toy.
I know that.
Mikey, no!
I'm calling to inquire about a former student of yours. His name is Mikey Trenton, and he's in the 4th grade.
Pilgrim was bad, so the turkey's fixing him.
Officially, this case is closed.
Mikey, put that down. It's not a toy.
That's what you say.
Hasn't he ever been checked out? Psychologically?
Life is full of accidents.
What are you talking about?
The radio. It's not safe.
Why not?
Don't you know anything about his history?
He's a wonderful kid. He's perfect.
Yeah, he's too perfect.
Stop it!
I've been doing some research into Mikey Trenton's background.
If I had a girlfriend, I'd do anything for her.
I think that there's something very wrong with Mikey. There's something very strange about him. I think that Mikey's in love with me. He's only 9 years old.
Why don't you like me anymore?
No. Mikey, no!
Dead people aren't the ones to be scared of. Living people are.
I need all the information you can give me on Mikey Trenton. What do you want, Mikey? It's psychotic behavior.
Mikey just needs a good, stable home.
Remember, Jason and Freddy were kids once, too. Mikey.
Oh, great trailer. Before Brian Bonsall was buying go-karts and making audiences squirm by kissing adults in Blank Check, he was playing America's least adoptable child in Mikey. Sweet on the outside, Mikey's real talents include creative accidents, sudden mood swings, and keeping his foster families very, very short term. Think problem child if the problem was, well, murder. Yeah, Mikey gets adopted into a new family and they seem to love him, and it's like literally like problem child, but instead of like playing pranks, he's murdering everyone. And I immediately recognized Brian Bonsall as this kid from Blank Check, and I was like, I gotta put him into the synopsis, because have you guys seen Blank Check?
No, Terry spotted him right away, though. She's like, oh, that's the Blank Check kid. I'm like,
Yeah.
Sure it is.
That movie, like, for kids my age was like, you know, next to Home Alone, like the shit, because it was like, can you imagine getting a blank check and being everything, and then at the end he kisses an adult woman, and now looking back I'm like, oh no. But yeah, he's got that sweet little face and the freckles and the blonde hair, but he's an absolute nightmare and shithead in this movie. And you know what, like earlier before we hit record, I think Brian was saying, you know, he might be the one that actually likes this movie more than anyone. I liked this. It's not a good movie, but I had so much fun with it, and it was entertaining all the way through. Like, I never wanted to turn it off. It was like, this is fun. It was like I don't know. It's just so stupid. You know, he comes up with these Home Alone, you know, marbles falling through a glass door and then shot with a bow and arrow, and what the fuck.
So he just has like one go-to move, and it's throwing appliances in the bathtub.
Yeah, that was my takeaway.
Yeah, he did that a couple times too. But I mean, he had good archery skills, you know. And I did find, like, when he goes after, spoiler, his foster dad, it was like, this is the only motherfucker that's treated him like very nice. I mean, the mom, his hot foster mom, Wes Craven's ex-wife.
Oh, really?
Mimi Craven, yeah, she was really nice to him too, but like the dad was like overly nice to him, which again, problem child, where like, you know, Ritter was like the nicest to this kid, and he still shits on him. But that movie has a much happier ending than this one. So, I mean, this should be shown in like high school to kids so that they use birth control.
Yeah, we keep bringing up Problem Child, and I assumed this was made to cash in on The Good Son, and I just looked it up, and The Good Son came out a year after this.
Oh, wow.
So this actually is a Problem Child cash in, because Problem Child came out in 1990. So, you know, the joke of this being, haha, it's like Problem Child, but with a murder. Like, no, but that's what they were going for, apparently, which is kind of mind-blowing. Because I was thinking, especially at the very end, when he's being moved on to the next family, I so wish that adoption agent had been Gilbert Gottfried. That would have been fucking incredible.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Tad said, this is not good, and it drags like fuck in the middle. Like, This thing could have been an hour long, and it would have been, you know, boogied, but there's just way too much trying to build suspense that is not there, because none of these people can act worth shit. But when it gets to the killing and the kid trying to be evil, it's so funny. And the stupid, like, especially the one-liner at the end when he's going after his teacher. Before you go, I just need you to teach me one more thing. How to die.
I bet he thought he was so fucking cool, like went to school and was like, you guys got to see this movie I made. Like, you had to feel like a complete badass being that kid in that movie.
So here's where I date myself again, where you guys recognize this kid from Blank Check. I recognize this kid as the youngest child from Family Ties that they added on towards the end of the series run.
Yeah.
That's when I knew him from. And I saw there was like some docu-series on Max about like the dark side of Hollywood or whatever. I don't remember what it's called. Like
Yeah, I
Hollywood
remember that.
Monsters or whatever.
Yeah, the one about kid actors.
Yeah, and they talked about him a lot in that episode. He was like one of their examples on the kid actors going bad episode. And I remember them showing clips from this movie in that episode. But yeah, I love bad movies all day long. But the biggest crime of any piece of cinema is when it's boring. And I was just pretty bored to tears with this. Yeah, I don't feel like he did enough variations on kills. It was a lot of throwing electrical devices in water or setting stuff on fire. And for a killer kid movie, they played it way too safe. I mean, was this a made-for-TV movie? Does anybody know? First of all, it looked and felt like a made-for-TV movie.
I'm sure it was direct to video.
Yeah. And then, like, it was, just played things way too safe. I mean, at least even in Good Son, they kill Macaulay Culkin at the end, for crying out loud.
I was a little bit like, maybe I missed part of it, but like, he does all this and he got away with it and he's going to a new family. I was like, how is he? What did I miss a part where he somehow like set this all up to look like an accident? Because there's no fucking way.
Yeah, I did feel kind of jumpy there at the end, and like, how did he get away with all this?
It was released direct to video in 1992.
You guys tried to rationalize the story.
What?
I know. What story?
It was really cool seeing last year's Halloween-a-Palooza guest Whit Hertford as a little baby boy.
Right.
Still a creepy little shit. Those eyes, man, right?
1 year before he got to be in Jurassic Park, man.
Stepping stone, this movie. And, of course, it was amazing seeing Ashley Lawrence.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yes.
And like I said, Mimi Craven, she looks sort of like a young Uma Thurman in this. When I looked it up, I was like, that has to be, right? And yes, it was Wes's ex-wife. And she was also in A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep, the nurse in part 3 with the
Oh,
tongues.
that's her?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, like Tad said, this movie's not good. And that's where I'm done talking. It was not fun. I didn't like it.
Oh, you guys, I can't believe
No.
I didn't think it dragged at all, but maybe because I was like doing something else while watching it. It feels like one of those movies.
Well, sure, if you cheat.
Yeah, if you're going to cheat, well, no wonder you like stuff.
Well, I cannot, unless I'm in a theater, I'm doing something else while I'm watching a movie. But this one definitely feels like that thing. I think I watched it like on a Saturday afternoon by myself and threw it on the TV, and it was like perfect for that. It was like sunny out, and I'm just watching this stupid movie. It's so stupid, but I don't know. I was laughing, had me laughing at the one-liners, and watching kids be mean to adults is fun.
Nope.
Cricket.
Not a fan.
Well, Tad, since this is your all-time favorite movie, do you have any trivia?
All kinds. 3 actors from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise appear in the film. Mimi Craven, who appeared in Nightmare on Elm Street and was married to writer Wes Craven. Whit Flint, who appeared in The Dream Child. And Lyman Ward, who appeared in Part 2, Freddy's Revenge.
And there's even a Freddy Krueger.
I was going to say, Mikey even says his favorite movie is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
You had to like that part, right, Jason?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the film was submitted to the British Board of Film Classification for a video certificate shortly after the 1993 murder of 2-year-old James Bulger by 2 10-year-old boys. The BBFC debated extensively over whether to pass the film in the wake of the murder. Ultimately, on the advice of the 3 child psychologists who deemed the film potentially harmful to impressionable children, it was rejected for a certificate in 1996. The film remained banned in the UK for 29 years as it was not resubmitted until 2025, where it was passed uncut with a 15 certificate. However, some UK streaming platforms showed the film during the period in which it remained banned. So this is on like some kind of like weird video nasties almost list up until 2025, but only because no one cared to submit it.
If they wanted to do like a reissue of this movie now, if Vinegar Syndrome or TerrorVision or somebody were to put this out, and they could put like banned in the UK for 30 years or whatever,
Right.
just you don't bother to tell anyone. It's just because they
Why?
didn't give enough of a shit to send it back for another rating.
This seems obvious, but I thought it was funny that was listed in trivia. The 7 major film studios, 20th Century Fox, Columbia, Metro or MGM, Paramount, Universal, Walt Disney, and Warner Brothers all refused to distribute the film due to its controversial subject matter involving a murderous child, probably also because it's not a good movie. I added the last line, but
Yeah, but obviously that's the reason.
Right. I'm like reading that, and it's like all because of this. I'm like, there's probably another reason, but
because there's like virtually no blood. I think we get maybe one shot of boobs, or maybe I was even just imagining that.
He's imagining boobs because he's so bored.
Probably. Yeah, there's like you literally could show this movie uncut on television.
Yeah.
On like network broadcast primetime television, and it wouldn't, no one would get mad. Well, somebody would get mad because there's always some idiot. But
the scene with the glass in her neck is pretty gross.
Oh yeah, okay. You probably need to trim that, I guess. But
yeah. And that's what I have for trivia on Mikey.
All right, Jason, what is our next film?
Our next film also starts with the letter M. I wondered if that was tied in. We'll find out. I don't know. But I'd always seen this poster and film around, but never saw it, so excited. Tonight we're talking about 2015's Maggie.
Dad, you've protected me all my life. Now it's my turn to protect you. There is life with you, not with me. Don't come looking for me. I'm safe. I'm fine.
Mr. Vogel, I wouldn't normally release someone with this type of infection.
Dad!
I need you to follow the rules here. Quarantine is 8 weeks in. She's probably going to show more signs of aggression and hunger. When that happens, say your goodbyes and get her straight through quarantine.
I made a promise to your mother that I will protect you.
Quarantine rules apply to everybody, Wade.
Tonight's movie is Maggie from 2015, finally answering the question, what if Arnold Schwarzenegger fought zombies? But instead of fighting them, he just moped around on a farm. That's the question. Yep, the one-liners are replaced with long stares. Instead of explosions, we get feelings. Abigail Breslin plays Maggie, his teenage daughter who's slowly turning into a zombie, which honestly might be just normal teenage behavior. Directed by Henry Hobson, this is a zombie movie that trades guts and gore for brooding silence and awkward family dinners. So buckle up. It's less Terminator versus The Walking Dead and more Little House of the Zombie Prairie. It's first time watch. Mention that.
Such a glowing description there.
I loved it.
Yeah. I wanted to like this. I did. I mean, I liked the zombie makeups a lot. I liked the dead stuff. I liked the. I mean, it was, what was it? 2015. They, I enjoyed the color of the film. They really washed it out, and gave it that color correction that they did a lot back then. And I'm not sure. It was slow, which you might think I would like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but it was slow.
It was slow.
This is not a first time watch for me. I was very hyped on it when it came out. And so when I watched it the first time, I had that reaction the same as you. But going into it knowing that, the second time I actually enjoyed it more.
I could see that.
But I'm still like, I can't get over, Arnold's a fine actor, but like,
yeah,
no one addresses the fact that he has a thick Austrian accent,
yeah,
and why no one else, his family doesn't. I mean, it could
Well,
be that.
see, Tad, people used to be allowed to move from one country to another, and people used to be allowed to emigrate into the United States and live here,
but
even if they weren't born here.
I don't know.
And so...
I also was super kind of disappointed with Abigail Breslin's performance. I think she's a good actress, but I did not enjoy her in this. And then overall, the way they, which I can appreciate sometimes, but I just the way they unfolded the rules, just made me more mad than anything. I'm just like, tell me how it fucking gets to the next. Why are they so nonchalant walking around? Tell me something. I got pissed about it.
I feel like
I like it, but I got pissed because the way they told me about it.
What do you mean? Because it was so stretched out? I mean,
yes. Yeah, okay. The way it unfolded, the rules, it was like an hour in. I'm like, so it is a bite that does it? I don't know at this point. They didn't really tell me.
There was a lot of stuff that I was like mad they didn't tell us. Who was the woman that lived with them?
Right, we didn't learn that was...
Because it's not their mother.
No, it was stepmom, his new wife.
Oh, it was his new wife?
Yes, we didn't learn
I'm like,
that till...
is this a sister? Is this a...
Nope, she says stepmom once.
Oh, fucking really?
Not from him, only the daughter says that once.
My ears blinked and I missed that line because it was driving me nuts who the hell she was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I wonder the whole time, I'm like, is this by design that we don't... Like, it almost... his accent is almost part of that, where it's like, where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Oh.
You just about killed Jason.
But I can understand it's a bit frustrating because it's like answer some questions. But I do like the different approach. I remember when this came out, it was in the thick of the zombie thing where Walking Dead was king, and then Arnold was having to come back, and it was like art. When like action or comedic actors were getting their renaissance, it was like Arnold's going to do a dramatic role, and I was not super impressed, not because of his performance, but because of the writing. It was like he doesn't have a lot to chew on. It feels like it could be a short film or something. But I do like that they like go to the doctor and get and it's such a slow takeover of the body rather than like. Right. The opposite of 28 Days Later, where like
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you get blood in the eye and suddenly you're nuts. Like this one is like a slow, sad. You watch someone deteriorate and and seeing how that affects their family and loved ones. And
I mean, this is an extreme example of it, but like Contracted is what I thought of while watching this movie, where the whole movie is this slow burn of this person decaying away, turning into something else, turning into this creature, this monster. I mean, Contracted is definitely far more visceral than this is. But I don't know, maybe it could have used a little bit more visceral.
I love the idea of Arnold brooding and like getting that role that gives him the opportunity to be a quiet, brooding guy and show some of that acting. But I don't know if it worked.
It definitely didn't work for me. I'm sorry, dude. I'm not a fan of that washed out.
Oh, I saw your face when I said it. No, I mean, I'm sure it's definitely overused, but like I thought it worked for this story. But
overused. And I personally feel like sometimes that drags a movie down when it's so fleshed out. It's like there's nothing pretty to look at in movies like that, and half the time I'm like, it's just okay. This movie's just artsy melodrama bullshit that. Everything is great. It's all shot handheld close up. Somebody turn on a goddamn light because I can't see half of what's going on in this fucking movie. It felt like something I saw at like an independent film festival, only with a higher budget.
What was it with movies around this time that every director and DP hated color?
Yeah.
Like, I get it if you're muting the color palette intentionally to make one particular color pop, if that has some kind of significance to the. I mean, this is a very extreme example, but like with Schindler's List, I mean that one's fully in black and white, but then you get the girl with the red coat.
Sin City.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily mean going full black and white to have one color, but I mean you can do it with a muted palette too.
But like Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot is like the one I always think of with that like weird sepia tone.
But this is just so bland looking
plays
because
to
there's
the story. It's supposed apocalyptic. It's
yeah,
the end of the world.
And that's it.
Life is draining from this planet. Blah, blah, blah,
and that actually makes sense. But again, there's still, yeah. I don't know. I feel like there needs to be some color in there to break that up to get that point across. Because if the whole thing is bland, like. If that's what you're talking about, if it's going to be a thing where life is draining from the planet and that's that's why everything is so muted, then there should be something that is still colorful that is a symbol of hope, or even just a symbol. If the one colorful thing is a very small thing or a thing that's disappearing, then it's the hope draining away, and that would get that point across a lot better than just we forgot to turn the color filter back on the camera.
Or some depth of field or some more creative lighting or something. I mean, at the end of the day, when it's done like this, everything just looks so flat and blends together to where, and with this one in particular, especially inside that house, there's like moments, and I know I've got other issues going on, but there's just moments where I'm literally not making out what's going on in the scene. And yeah,
I think it was a choice though, still on purpose, not to defend it, because the way the story's told and the dialogue, it's a slow burn on it's very deliberate. So I don't
because. Now let me say something nice about it, because I actually really like this movie.
I thought you did.
I thought I had seen it when it came out, and watching it again, I mean, it could just be because it was 10 years ago and I don't remember anything about it, but I didn't really remember anything, so it all was kind of new watching it this time if I had seen it before. But I thought Arnold was really good. He could have had a little bit more to do, but I was surprised at how good of an actor he was in this. Even with what little he has, he really gets a lot of emotion across. And what I took from it wasn't just the surface, it's a zombie story and he's sad because his daughter is dying, but the movie overall is a kind of a meditation in general on your kids growing up and how hard that can be to see them, because I mean, obviously his daughter's not going to grow up. She's going to die. But, it's still about a father losing his little girl, because there's there's little bits of him remembering previous times and happy memories when she was younger and that, and as she is changing into a zombie literally, or into an adult metaphorically, she begins to pull away from him, and their relationship changes and becomes more distant. And having just gone through that myself, it's it kind of bummed me out a little bit.
Sure.
So yeah, I actually thought this was really good and really touching. It could have been better. It certainly isn't a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I was surprised at how much it hit me, I guess, and how much I enjoyed it.
Well, there's another level to that too in this film, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm already forgetting the movie. But she had already left home to go to Kansas City, and then she got bit.
Well, I don't think she left home like she went off to college and wasn't living there. Like, I think it was her and her dumb friends ran off to have an adventure and got bit.
Oh, okay. So
that's how I read it anyway.
She was always planning on coming. I thought she.
Yeah, I think she was going to come home until she got bit, because that's why she calls and leaves that message saying, this is where I am, but I got bit. I'm sorry. Don't come find me. I love you. Like, she's just a dumb kid that did a dumb thing, is what it was.
Okay. Well, I took it as she was gone from home longer than that, just based on other people's reactions to her being back. Like when her friend shows up at the house, acting like it had been like a year since he's seen her. So I misinterpreted the beginning then.
And I mean, I could be wrong about that too. Maybe I read it wrong. But either way, it ends up the same place. But
is it also in Arnold's contract to maintain his action hero status that he's the guy who is the person that kills the one zombie in the movie? He's got to have that one little action moment.
I mean, if it's gonna be anybody, it's obviously gonna be the giant tank of a dude and not the wispy little girl.
Here's my positives on this movie. I liked the status of the world in this movie. This is I feel like the most unique part of this film is where it's at in the zombie apocalypse. And the fact that it is such a slow turn from human to zombie, that the breakdown of society is going slower. I mean, in the beginning, they're driving through, fields on fire and trucks overturned and dilapidated gas stations and stuff. But yet they're still talking about starting up school in the fall. The doctor, the hometown doctor, is still operating.
Office.
Yeah. So.
And I love the name that they gave it, the necroambulist virus. That's just such a cool bit.
That is kind of cool.
I guess it's not really word play, but just, and the inventing of a new word that, yeah, it's very cool.
And so I really dug that aspect of it, because that also felt like really real, especially a lot of stuff we've dealt with in the past 5 or 6 years in this world that we live in, of how things are breaking down, but people are still getting up and putting on pants and going to work.
Stupid pants.
And then the other thing, probably my favorite little know-nothing scene is the scene where he's working on the truck, and they're talking about the truck. And I just love that. I don't know. I just thought it was clever writing where she's talking about how she had to go pick up her friend or whatever because their car broke down, and he's like, "Yeah, and what'd you pick her up in?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cute.
Anyway, did you have anything else to say, Tad?
No, I like this one fine. Like I said, I feel like I was disappointed the first time because I expected something more, and then rewatching it, I appreciated it more this time. I like the chemistry between the two, father and daughter. I think that's, it makes you care at the end. You don't want to see her go down, and you understand. But as someone who's not a father, I can't be like, it's relatable, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What trivia do you have for it?
quite a bit. I had to pull up one more piece after Brian mentioned the name, or who was it? Brian, do you mention the name?
The name of what? Of the virus? The necroambulist virus? Yeah.
Yeah, so the term of the disease, necroambulist, is a mixture of the Greek word necro, meaning death or dead, and a Latin-derived ambulist, meaning walker, so dead walker. Cool. Arnold did this movie for exactly $0. He did not get paid for this movie. Just loved the script, wanted them to be able to make it. They made it on a pretty low budget in 25 days.
I wish more actors would do that.
It might be because I'm not sure if he was governor of California and could not take the payment at the time, or I don't remember. But either way, he did it for $0.
Nice.
Very cool.
Originally, Chloe Grace Moretz and Patty Considine were going to star in this at some point. And there's no more information as to why that didn't happen, but somewhere, there's another version of this in the multiverse. And then this is the lowest budgeted movie Arnold has appeared in since the original Terminator.
Well, yeah, because he didn't take a paycheck.
Yeah, so it's about $10 million for this one.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And that's what I have.
Excellent. All right. What's our next movie, Brian?
All right. The last movie tonight is from 2016, Morgan.
Amy! Don't go in there!
Oh my God.
We're all very happy to have you here, Lee.
I imagine that's not exactly true.
Doctor, this is Lee Weathers from corporate.
I'm just looking for some information about Morgan.
Morgan was our third attempt, our little breakthrough. It's the next step in evolution. It's bioengineered with synthetic DNA. Within a month, walking and talking. Within 6 months, it exceeded our wildest expectations.
I'd like to discuss the incident, if that's okay.
She had a tantrum. There was joy in her heart before we shoved her back in that box.
You feeling a little sad, Morgan?
Yes.
Do you like it here?
Yes.
What do you like about it?
I like my friends.
Do you think they treat you like a friend? I mean, you think it's normal for friends to lock each other in cages? What would you do if I recommended that you should not be allowed to leave this room? What if I recommended that you be terminated?
We should end this.
Answer me! What would you do?
Where's Morgan?
Initiating lockdown.
What you don't understand is
10.
Morgan is still evolving.
9.
The people in this house are in danger.
8.
It needs to be terminated.
7. 6.
Don't be afraid.
5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
I'm starting to feel like myself.
A risk management specialist for a genetic research organization is sent to a remote facility to determine if the current line of experimentation should be allowed to continue or if it is too dangerous to live. I'd never even heard of this movie until it got put on the list. I don't know how with the fucking cast.
Exactly.
Holy shit, the cast is amazing.
I'll have a little bit of that in the
Toby
trivia.
Jones, Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, yeah, who is the part that kind of kneecaps the movie, unfortunately. Not because of him, he's fine, but Anya Taylor-Joy, early on in her career. This is kind of like Splice, but without the fucking an alien part.
Right.
It's also
Like
not...
Megan without any of the fun.
It's not as good as Splice either. Like,
Tiffany
I
read the description, was like, is it great value Megan? Is this what
Well,
we're
no, because
asking?
she's not a robot. She's
I know, but
alive.
It doesn't. I know.
It was so promising as an examination of the ethics of genetic engineering. I love all the talk about, like, this can't be her true nature because you've kept her locked in a box the whole time. Like, what would she be like if she was treated like a person instead of a thing? And then the bit where they have Paul Giamatti come in as the psychiatrist, and he's trying to provoke her to violence because she attacked somebody previously, and they're, Toby Jones and his team are trying to say, like, no, really, we should keep going because we can make this better. And then Brian Cox shows up at the end and says the quiet part out loud, and the movie becomes, like, it just trips over its own dick and falls flat on its face in the last 5 minutes of the movie. Where we, like, you kind of know, like,
it's the reveal?
Well, no, like, the reveal is obvious, like, less than halfway through the movie.
Yeah, but I kind of like being validated for the whole time. I'm like,
yeah, but
oh, this has got to be it. This has got to be it. And then
yeah, because they keep saying, like, you're really an assassin, aren't you? Like, well, yeah, obviously she's one of these things too. But then I'm just like, well, the old version clearly worked better. The new one's all fucked up. So divert all the funds into the continuing the. And then you see her sitting at the table in the diner doing the thing with their hands. It's just,
Morgan's doing, yeah.
Man, like, it was
Terminator
so
2.
good until it wasn't. And, like, this would have been a, like, easy 4-star or higher. And then, but yeah, I don't know, man. It just, the first 2 acts and half of the third act were awesome. And then it just shit the bed pretty hard in the final moments. But I still really, really enjoyed what was good about it. And I don't, like, I make it sound like that just completely ruined the rest of the movie. It didn't at all, because, again, like, the script, the performances, all of it's really, really good up until the end. And so I would still definitely recommend checking this one out if it sounds interesting to anyone listening and you haven't seen it. I just, again, in a world where we have Splice, this is kind of a letdown at the end of the day. But
to me, it's just so weird. Like, I do remember this coming out. I do remember it being in theaters, and you have all the ingredients to make a fantastic movie. That cast is fantastic. It's a cool story, but to me, it just is nothing. Like, they're sitting around talking to an AI girl for a long time, and it's like, do something. Like, I want to poke it. Do something. Do something. Something has to happen.
That was the interesting part. When it turns into an action movie, it's
I know
not as good, though.
Yeah, I guess that's what does sort of separate it from these other, I mean, now we have it more. It's interesting that this also, is a little bit older, not old, but compared, didn't come out in the last couple of years, because now we have, like, Companion, Megan, all these movies like that, and it's like, it would probably fare better today, especially looking at that cast. But it's like, how much did they spend on this thing, making this movie with all you get Brian Cox for, like, one scene, you get Paul Giamatti. It's just, everybody's in it and everybody's fantastic, but it just is there for me. It's not bad. I liked it, but it just could have been something so much bigger with everything you had going for it. So
yeah, I agree with most of that. The cast is incredible. It made me love Toby Jones even more than I thought awesome. I could. He was awesome, and it's the things I liked is just how it was like staying at a house, this lab out in the middle of nowhere, and it was just how everyone got personally collected to her. I mean, where they couldn't separate that, and they, spent 5 years with this kid and couldn't do that. The part that I had trouble with, I just didn't. I wish they would have shown more of her abilities, or, like, why she was to be a threat, why she needed to be, why she was scary, like her powers, or any, you know what I mean? Like, why should we be afraid of her other than she stabs eyeballs? But, like...
Like, where's this training coming from?
Right, why... I had no idea what her powers were. They didn't go into that really to me.
I don't think that matters. Like, she's genetically engineered. She's supposed to be superhuman.
But you
sort
didn't.
of.
You just said
so
it.
That's
you
good.
didn't show me it.
Well, right, and that's good enough though, because I don't think we're supposed to be scared of her. The reason that they're waiting to determine whether or not they should terminate this project isn't because she's scary. It's more, we've spent a lot of money on this, but if we're not going to be able to control her, then we should just kill her and start over. Like, it's a pure corporate money move, which is way worse than anything she could do. Like, she's the victim, not the villain.
Yeah, but there's a fine line there on how the audience is supposed to perceive her, and I think that's where Jason's going, because that's my thought on it. Like, you do side with her through this whole movie, but I like the idea of when she loses it, then she becomes a darker character to where it can be scary, and it, for the audience. I understand.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's still a threat to any Joe Schmo who happens to be in her way. But
otherwise, she's just a girl who likes hoodies. Like, I don't know why. I don't know if I care. She's just, I don't know. I didn't feel connected to her. I wanted it to be more, her to be more, and she was just a little more girl.
A little more Eric Stoltz and Fly 2.
Something. Give me something.
Spend a little more time with her growing up, maybe.
Yeah, but the cast is great, crazy. This movie seemed to literally come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Never
so
heard
weird.
of it.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one. When I was
no idea
looking up movies and I came across this and I watched the trailer, see if this would be a good fit, and I'm like, holy crap, such a stacked cast, looks amazing, looks like a great budget, never freaking heard of it. I loved it. This was probably my favorite of the episode, or it is my favorite of the episode. I thought, just like you guys, I thought the cast was great. I loved all the talking bits. I loved all the action bits, and I loved being validated at the end. Like, I seriously, watching this movie by myself, and that moment where they basically confess that she's one of them as well, I stood up and fist pumped at the air. I'm like, vindicated, I was right. I mean, because the minute she walks into that building, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, oh, it's gonna turn out that she's gonna be one of them. She's going to be one of those experiments. You guys didn't mention Jennifer Jason Leigh. She was in there too.
Oh, yeah.
Getting her eyeballs ripped
wacky,
out.
weird old self.
Yep. Whether or not you like this movie or you want to see this movie or whatever, at least for the Paul Giamatti scene, that's worth the price of admission. Because one, it's Paul Giamatti, and two, that's such a great scene, and it's the flip moment of the movie too. So I mean, anything with him is, even when he's like Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm down with it.
Which he was the best part of that fucking movie, and the whole thing should have been him in that Rhino mech suit and not fucking green Beavis Goblin.
Beavis Goblin.
He's so right. Oh, okay. All right. Well, did everybody say their piece on that one?
I think so.
Okay. And what do you got for trivia on that?
So Morgan, in its opening weekend, couldn't even crack the weekend top 10 after an estimated 615,000 made on Friday. It was released in the U.S. from 2,020 theaters, heading towards a 3-day weekend around 1.8 million and a 4-day weekend around 2.3. It ended up being one of the worst openers of the summer and one of the worst openings for a film debuting in over 2,000 theaters. It was pulled from theaters 2 weeks after its release.
Oh, boy, wow.
Luke Scott's feature directorial debut, and he has not directed a feature since.
I say that
poor
an
guy.
opener like that'll put you in Hollywood jail real quick.
Yeah, they put him, locked him up, and he did. He's done some stuff, but leading up, he did like a lot of special feature type stuff, and shorts. And then after this, he's basically doing special features again. So he did a bunch of like little featurettes for Alien Covenant. He did.
Oh wow!
A short. Yeah, I was gonna say.
that.
And then he did 2 Blade Runner shorts, 2036 Nexus Dawn and 2048 Nowhere to Run, and then he directed 3 episodes of Raised by Wolves. So he has not done.
Was doing special features for Alien Covenant his punishment for how badly this movie?
I'm sort of curious about them because they're listed as shorts. She Won't Go Quietly in Alien Covenant Meet Walter and Alien Covenant Prologue, The Last Supper. So I'm not sure even what they really are. Apparently he has some kind of, relationship with Ridley Scott to be working on that and the Blade Runner stuff and Raised by Wolves. So I'm curious. He must have been like, his protege or something. But yeah, and then the last that's everything I had. There was not a whole lot on this one. So
All right, so now it's time to rank the films. What you guys from best to worst. Jason, do you want to go first?
It's reverse order for me, I think. It was Morgan, Maggie, Mikey. But Mikey's like way third, if that can be a thing.
All right, Brian, what about you?
Man, I've been flip-flopping. Like, I can't decide whether to put Maggie or Morgan in first place. Like, Maggie overall is a little lackluster, but it has some good stuff. Morgan is so strong until it falls on its face at the end, but like, man, it's kind of a tie for first between those two, just depending on when you ask me. And then yeah, Mikey is like dead fucking last.
Tad?
Mikey at the top in all 3. No, just kidding.
I knew it.
I would say I like Maggie, then Morgan, then Mikey.
Oh,
Do you have to like Mikey the most because you're Mikey?
I do. It's Mikey is number 1. No, Morgan, Maggie, Mikey is mine as well. Yes. So there you go.
Were you so happy when you found 3 that started with M?
Not really. I didn't really want to go that route, but then other ones I had on my list were M titles too. I'm like, is there any other names out there?
But then you started humming that Crash Test Dummies song to yourself.
Yep.
Oh man, that should have been the opening.
Should have.
God damn it.
We can't afford it. It will get
true.
Yeah.
Now, what about the kill of the show? Your favorite kill of these 3 movies? Jason, you want to go first again?
I've been having a hard time remembering kills. There wasn't much in Maggie. I mentally blocked out all of Mikey. And then Morgan was mostly all gun stuff, which sucks and made me hate the ending so much. So I was just going to say my favorite kill was when Michelle Yeoh was hugged to death. If you're going to go out with a hug.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to go.
That's my cheap-ass answer, sorry.
Brian, what about you?
Maggie's suicide. Man, that was fucking sad as hell.
Yeah. Tad?
Maybe the Home Alone kill where Mikey puts like, marbles or something on the ground, and his adoptive father slipped on them and falls through a glass door somehow, and then goes outside and gets shot with a bow and arrow. It's so stupid.
So stupid.
It's like, might as well put Micro Machines down, Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, electrical item put into the bathtub, but then I'd have to narrow it down. So instead, I'm going to go with Dr. Shapiro's death in Morgan when Paul Giamatti gets his throat ripped out.
That's pretty gnarly, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chew out his jugular. All right, so that concludes our topic, but there's still more Attack of the Killer podcast to come. Yes, it's true. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to close out the show with our final 2 segments. But first, you're going to hear a promo for our podcast network, the Prescribed Films Podcast Network. The PFPN is home to so many great shows, such as Genre Exposed. Genre Exposed is a bi-weekly podcast plumbing the depths of genre films from old, new, cult, and transgressive. Join them as they explore the wide world of cinema, broadening their horizons one movie at a time. You can check them out and all the other shows at thepfpn.com. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to the show, and now it's time to hear from you guys, the listeners. Here's Jason with shout-outs.
It's time for shout-outs! 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 Shout-outs!
All right, we asked, what are your favorite horror movies with titles that are also names? And in our Facebook group, we got Emily Randolph. She says, not many know this one. It's a good one, too. Milo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then Pearl jumps in and says, the kid from Family Ties. Then we got Attacker Abe Kirshner says, it's due for a rewatch and loosely horror, but May.
Yeah.
Let's keep those M's going. Yeah, guys.
See, is there any other names out there besides M names?
Well, we finally got one. We got Pearl Morgan. She chimes in. Of course, this is her answer. Pearl. Pretty good. Pretty good. Over on the Facebook page, we got Chris Anderson. Carrie. Of course.
yeah.
Of course. Attacker Jacob McLaughlin says, oh, hey, Godzilla is once again applicable in one of these questions.
That is his name.
But also Dracula, Frankenstein, Lugosi, and Karloff, respectively. Martin.
Fuck yeah.
See, Martin was going to be
I knew
on the
it.
list, and I couldn't find it.
Bubba Hotep, Tetsuo, the Iron Man, Candyman, Blade, Krampus, Psycho Goreman, Saint Maud, Carrie, Gretel and Hansel, Pumpkinhead, Faust, Daimajin, Gorga. He's not
wrong, but
he's still more.
you kinda missed the
Gamera,
insight.
the giant monster, Pulgasari. My favorite overall for both its tittle and the film itself, The Abominable Mr. Fibes. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but I think
He just bent the
missed
rules all to
assignment.
hell. Yeah, he did. It was a good answer, Jacob. And lastly, we got Attacker Tiffany. She says, I don't know if I'd classify them as horror, but I like the Meath Regan movies. Probably because I envision her being less than 5 feet tall badass, like someone else I know. Yep, and...
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sorry. So anyone who if there's a betting pool of how long we can get through the episode before the cat comes down here to shit.
Oh, it happened.
Well, and it's oh my God, it's making my fucking eyes water. And the best, like, she got in the box
All right, who
and
wins the
shit
bet?
and got out and started covering it. And then stuck her head back in the box to smell it, and then climbed back in and
proud.
shit some more.
She's proud.
Fucking cat.
That's what I do in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. Moving on. Hey, you can also call and leave us voicemails. You can do that. It's really cool. You can just do that. Call us 415-952-6857 or 415-995-AOTKP. Leave us that voicemail. We'll play it on the show, and that is shout-outs.
What's in a name? That which we call a Polonia Brothers movie by any other name would still look like shit. And to prove it, here's Insane Mike with Insane's picks.
I have decided for this Insane's Picks that I am going to be doing a 3-parter over the next 3 episodes. I will be covering the Necrophiles trilogy, starting with the first one, the Necrophiles from 1997. The Necrophiles is a film directed by Matt Gesell, who directed such classics as Apocalypse Bigfoot, Legend of the Night, and 300 Killers. Written by Todd Gerland and Sammy Shapiro, which is amazing that 2 writers had to write a movie where it's just kill scene and then talking scene and then kill scene and, rinse and repeat. A cannibal serial killer rises from the grave as a flesh-eating zombie. 2 overacting, screaming cops, one of which is a drug addict, are investigating the new murders that are happening around town and are hot on the trail of the sadistic zombie with a 12-inch penis. There's also a satanic cult that resurrected a flying demon fetus on a fishing line that eventually crosses paths with the zombie maniac. The killer ends up falling in love with a blow-up sex doll and then goes dancing with it in the cemetery. Everything seems well. That is until the demon fetus shows up and pops the doll. The undead serial killer becomes enraged and chases after the fetus. Quickly, our 2 hero cops join in the chase, and it ends in a slaughter where the drug-deranged cop ends up killing everyone and starts running the streets screaming and shooting people.
This sounds fucking amazing.
So, The Necrophiles, this is a first-time watch for me. It is extremely very low budget. I don't know if it's shot on video, but it definitely has that aesthetic. Very do-it-yourself and throwing everything at the wall. I highly recommend checking it out. Now, there is a lot of rape in the film, so it's not definitely going to have to appeal to everybody. But there's definitely a lot of great gut rippings and stuff like that going on, so I highly recommend checking it out if you are into that. You can see it in full on Tubi. It is also on YouTube, but the YouTube has all the nudity cut out and some of the more violent scenes.
Cowards.
And sexual scenes. So the YouTube cut's only 45 minutes long. But there you go. That is part 1 of my 3-part of the Necrophiles trilogy. Stay tuned for part 2 in the next episode of Attack of the Killer Podcast.
Brian's downloading them now.
You don't download from Tubi, you weirdo.
Oh, I'm the weirdo. Okay.
Look, I'm just choking on cat fumes over here, okay?
So that wraps up the show. That's it, folks. There you have it. And if you want more Attack of the Killer podcast in your life, you can check us out on X, Discord, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, Threads, TikTok, leave us Apple Podcast reviews. Be sure to become an attacker by going to thepfpn.com or to jointheattackers.com and check out our network, thepfpn.com. So there you go. That's it for this episode. We'll talk to you all next time on the next episode of Attack of the Killer Podcast.
Oh no, could this be the end of? Attack of the Killer Podcast. Attack